guys, today we are going to study some weather. I know we had some crazy weather from last week. We had temperatures in the teens and so much snow, and now this week it's so beautiful outside. So I thought we'd kind of do a review on weather. Oh, say can you see what's the weather today? This is a book all About Weather by Tish Raby, and I think it's really cool because I've never seen this series before, but it's the Cat in the Hat Learning Library, and so it has all these learning books from the Cat in the Hat, which I think is super cool. So we are going to get right into reading this, and then at the end I'm going to have some questions for you to answer on a separate piece of paper. So, I'm the Cat in the Hat, and it's raining. I know, but let's not stay inside. We've got places to go. Where the sunshine is shining, where warm winds are blowing, where lightning is flashing, where snowflakes are snowing. The weather is changing. Come on, let's get going. First stop is the top of Mount Carriacou, where they study the weather. That's all that they do. Watching the weather helps everyone know what to wear, where to live, and what food they can grow. Pilots check weather when they fly a plane. Are they flying in sunshine or clouds filled with rain? Why would it be important for a pilot to know what kind of weather? Think about that. Corn grows where it's hot. Rice grows where it's wet. Farmers grow what grows best in the weather they get. Meteorologists forecast the weather and say what kind of weather is heading our way. They send weather balloons floating high in the air to measure how hot or how cold it is there. Air temperature affects weather a lot. Thermometers show if it's cold or it's hot. Wind changes weather, and we can see why. It blows clouds along and clears rain from the sky. Anemometers measure how fast the wind goes. A wind vane will show you which way the wind blows. Ooh, those are weather tools. An anemometer and a wind vane. On this map of the weather, you'll see it showing it's sunny in Gret, but in Grugel it's snowing. A strong wind is blowing the snow right toward Gret. Tomorrow, the weather in Gret will be wet. Ooh, look at this. Symbols on weather maps show right away what kind of weather we're having. So the symbol on this map means drizzle, and the ones with dot means rain. And then the little snowflakes mean it's snowing. This means hurricane. So a weather map has symbols on it, and those symbols tell you what kind of weather is happening. Weather forecasts are important to us. Will you need a jacket to wait for the bus? When clouds form a ring and it circles the moon, sailors know this ring means there's a storm coming soon. A pine cone can forecast the weather. Here's why. It's closed when it's wet, opened up when it's dry. I did not know that. Here is a fact that we cannot explain. Frogs croak a lot more when it's going to rain. Oh, those are so cool. I love those facts. I did not know those. There are all kinds of clouds you can see in the sky. Cirrus are light, wispy clouds floating by. Cumulonimbus clouds mean there's a storm on the way. You see cumulus clouds on warm, sunny day. When a cloud touches down on the ground, it's called fog. If it mixes with smoke, then the fog becomes smog. A fun way to learn a cloud shape is to draw it. We said, that's a series the minute we saw it. If you look inside any cloud, you would see water droplets that bounce all around happily. If the droplets get close, they will soon join together, get heavy, and fall. Then we're in for wet weather. They fall to the ground, and the sun's energy turns them to water vapor, which we cannot see. Water vapor floats up, forms a new cloud, and then rain falls from the cloud to the ground once again. Do y'all remember what this cycle is called? Water droplets are tiny. This fact made us stop. It takes 1 million droplets to make one raindrop. Guess what they call this? The path of rain is called the water cycle. Here are some words that we learned on vacation. Rain, snow, sleet, and hail are all called precipitation. Water changing to vapor is called evaporation. Vapor changing to water is called condensation. Who invented umbrellas? Well, we don't know who, but umbrellas were first made in China, it's true, out of colorful paper and wood called bamboo. Thousands of years ago, they were made so out in the sun, folks could walk around in the shade. When it rained, they put wax on the paper. Here's why. Rain rolled off the wax, which kept folks nice and dry. When air's warmer than freezing, I'd like to explain, water falls from the clouds and it falls down as rain. When air's freezing cold, it's important to know, water falls from the clouds, but it falls down as snow. Ooh, I know many of y'all played outside last week and saw all the snow outside. I found out that when you have to melt snow for things like washing the dishes, that it takes a lot of snow to get just a little bit of water. So it looks like a lot, but when it melts down, it's not a lot of water. Interesting. If you magnify snowflakes the way that we are, you will see that each one is a six-pointed star. They are made up of crystals, and each one you find is like no other snowflake. It's one of a kind. The desert is dry, and the reason is clear. Its rainfall is less than 10 inches a year. Here is a word, and we both like to rhyme it. The weather a place has the most is its climate. How do you keep cool when you live in a land that is hot, dry, and dusty and covered in sand? Loose-fitting clothes let breezes blow through, and light colors bounce the sun rays off you. So, interesting thing, this desert is a type of climate, and it also shows us that in hot climates like the desert, you want to wear light-fitting clothing so that you are not hot. So it's also important to know what kind of clothing you need where in the different places you're going. Another type of climate is the Arctic, which is so cold, and you would wear totally different clothes for the Arctic than you would for the desert. Where on Earth is it the coldest? Meteorologists say Antarctica is freezing cold every day. Land covered in ice and deep drifting snow, the air is so cold that plants cannot grow. How thick is the ice here? That made us think quick. We are standing on an ice 7,000 feet thick, which I know a lot of my friends last week were telling me how thick their pool was. So crazy that we had so much snow that it froze the pool and the lake. We used a thermometer, and now we know the air is colder than deep in the snow. Ooh, so here's an interesting fact. You can make igloos, and sometimes animals burrow under the snow. Think about that. It's colder above ground than it is underground. So do you think there might be a reason that some of those animals stay? This is another type of climate. In a tropical jungle, it's hot and it's wet. If you go there to visit, you soon start to sweat. The weather is humid, which makes you feel icky. The air is full of water. That's why you feel sticky. Air conditioners help you feel better. Here's why. Cold air holds less water, so you feel cool and dry. Interesting. In a thunderstorm, first you will see lightning flash. Next, you'll hear thunder go rumble and crash. To find out how far thunderstorms are from you, try this easy trick. It's a fun thing to do. Start counting when you see a lightning bolt flash. Stop counting when you hear the next thunder crash. Take that number, divide it by 5. When you do that, It's the number of miles that the storm is from you. Lightning's electric. One flash is so strong it could light every light in your house all year long. Well, that's interesting. Thunder won't hurt you, but lightning could, so here are a few things we would like you to know. Lightning strikes what is tallest, so take it from me, it's a thunderstorm in a thunderstorm, never stand under a tree. If you're out in a field and have no place to go, get as small as you can and then scrunch way down low. Stay inside your car. If there's lightning around, it flows over your car and down into the ground. If strong winds are blowing with hard driving rain, you may be in the middle of a hurricane. Wind blows in a circle both night and day, knocking lots of things down that get in their way. Here's a hurricane fact that's a favorite of mine. There can be lots of hurricanes at the same time. So each one gets a name: Andrew, Agnes, or Dora, Lenny, Diana, Mitch, Bertha, or Flora. They each get a name, so there's never a doubt which hurricane people are talking about. Hurricanes blow things down, but I learned from thing 2, tornadoes blow harder than hurricanes do. A tornado picks up everything it goes by like a huge vacuum cleaner way up in the sky. It spins like a top, twirling round and around, pulling trees, cars, and houses right off the ground. Once in a tornado, a chicken was tossed. She landed safely, but her feathers were lost. It's important to study the weather, it's true, but we cannot control it, whatever we do. The sun may be shining, the sky a bright blue, then suddenly rain will start falling on you. Or the sky may be filled with dark storm clouds, and then the sun will break through and shine down once again. You see, weather keeps changing, but one thing we know, it makes life exciting wherever you go. Ooh, look, we've got a glossary with some weather words. I want you to take a look at these weather words because you're going to need them to answer some questions. So what we are going to do is it's just a review on what we have done with weather. We have looked at weather forecasts. We've looked at different types of weather tools, and we've talked about what you wear in the weather and what activities you play in the weather. So this is just kind of a review on what we've learned about weather so far. So what you're going to do is I am going to turn this off, and then there are questions attached to your science board. You can either print those out and write them down, or you can just answer the questions on a piece of paper. You can always go back and listen to the book if you need help on answering the questions. All right, chickadees and chickadudes, have a great day.